One. So another. What do you call it? What would I call this? Advice for Prince. Yeah, I think that's where I want to go with. So another advice for Prince moment. You feel me? This time around, it comes from our very own Gatti. Shout out to Gotti. She said how to deal with toxic situations. So I'm glad that you said that, Gotti. So in accordance to how to deal with toxic situations, that can very much differ from, I guess, person to person, as well as depending on the situation that you are in. I would say if you feel like a situation personally is getting toxic, meaning that it's draining your energy, you feel like it's giving more so negative effects than positives, or it's becoming too much on your health overall, uh, the easy thing to say would be, oh, just avoid it altogether. But honestly, I do understand that a lot of people have a hard time trying to avoid situations like that, to where it could, pretty much to where it could kind of just be like a continuous loop. My best advice to give in terms of trying to deal with a toxic situation: one, try to console yourself with someone that you generally trust, get their input on it. Mainly, how do I want to put this? Speak to someone you generally have a close connection to. Granted, I'm not saying tell your business to any and everybody, because again, can't necessarily tell your business to any and everybody. But for the most part, find someone that you do have a high enough and strong enough trust with, and confront them about, or talk to them about the situation. See what they have to say. If their advice kind of leads to you removing yourself from that situation, or removing a person outside your life, uh, take heed with caution, right? And I say that because not a lot of people, especially now in this day and age, especially the year 2024, let someone just leave out of a situation without things kind of popping off. If you feel like it's affecting you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, or it seems like someone's using you for a negative gain more so, I would say either find a way to cut them off, or stop interacting with them, or do something of the sort to where you can put a distance between them. Now, that could sound easier said than done, especially how I'm proclaiming it, but generally, just what I mean is the less you have interaction with this person, the better off you will be. Now, granted, like I said, this advice kind of goes, can't hit everything and it can't reach everyone, but I hope somebody takes this, at least a bit of the information, and kind of builds upon it on their own mindset. Um, you don't want to be in such of a toxic environment, especially a toxic situation, to where it puts you to the brink of breaking down, if that makes sense. Right? You don't want to keep feeling like you have a whole bunch of weight on your shoulder, and constantly feeling this negative energy hit you back to back to back to back to back, to where it's, hey, it is what it is, right? Uh, Me personally, I want everybody to find happiness in their own right. Whether it's being off by yourself, I won't necessarily say isolation, but being off by yourself, maybe picking up a new hobby, making speaking to someone about something, seeking therapy, stuff like that. Things that will kind of help you grow as an individual. Granted, a lot of toxic situations really do stunt somebody's growth and somebody's potential. So if you personally feel like you're in a toxic situation, I would say kind of success what, or kind of look about the situation as, what about it makes it toxic? Is it is it like a work environment? Is it someone's attitude? Is someone how they treat you? Is it how you feel like you're trying and nothing's going for you? If so, I would say your best bet is to kind of look at it from different angles and different perspectives. Like I said, talk to someone that you feel like you generally trust and are comfortable with. And I know a lot of people may, well, what if I don't have anybody who I can't trust like that? There are professional help out there, so don't feel like you can't turn to someone of that professional help, even if it's maybe, I don't know, Uncle Bob across the street, or someone at your local barbershop, or someone at your local salon, or someone of maybe like a pastor or something. Granted, I'm not saying everybody has the best advice. Granted, I'm not saying everybody has a good heart, because again, there are a lot of people that don't. But you don't want to just constantly put yourself or keep yourself in that negative environment, because like I said, it will stunt a lot of things you have going on. It will stop you from reaching the level that you're trying to reach. If that doesn't go about, I would say, like I said, less interaction with it, whether if it's a person, whether if it's a workspace. And when I mean workspace, yes, I know you can't just up and leave your job or not show up, because at the end of the day, everybody has bills. Everybody needs to get money somehow. But if you feel like your environment, especially at work, is negative, whether if it's like coworkers, your boss, whatever the case may be, I would understand if you found another job. Hopefully it's a better environment, because not all workplaces are a good environment, right? Not all workplaces will make sure that you are a priority health wise. A lot of times, and sometimes people may hear me say this, sometimes you may not, but a job can always let you go at a snap of a finger and whatnot. But honestly, if a workplace is becoming too much, if you feel like it's negative on your health, if it's, like I said, a toxic situation, whether if it's coworkers, boss, manager, whatever the case may be, supervisor, this, that, and the third, I advise you to leave and find something better for you, something that suits you, something that can help you. And I know that sounds a lot easier said than done, and I would say do your research on what you feel like your strong suits are, in a sense, what your passion is, what your goals are, and kind of steer a line towards that, right? Again, there's always professional help out there, whether it's therapy, things like that. But I can't give a straight pinpoint answer, because like I said, anybody who watches, anybody who comes across this, anybody who listens to this, at the end of the day, it's all different strokes for different folks. Not everybody may take this message and think this is going to help them, but I do just want to personally state that this is something that you can easily, well, I won't say easily, this is something that you can remove yourself out of in some shape, way, or form. Now, granted, like I said, a lot of things may vary depending on the person. I know a lot of times people take breaks, people take mental breaks, people aren't all the way locked in, and a lot of people may feel like they're just stuck in this one motion. You're not stuck. And I don't want that to make it seem like, oh, well, you can up and leave and do whatever. But what I mean by saying that you're not stuck is there are probably a lot of people in your corner, or at least someone in your corner who's willing to be there for you and will try to find a way to assist you. Now, a lot of people, I know there's toxic relationships and stuff like that, and I don't want to get too deep delved, because I don't want to open up wounds for anybody or cause anybody any type of triggering effects. But if you are in also like a toxic relationship, please, 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 and I mean this to the utmost, seek help somehow, right? If you feel like your partner is doing too much in aspects that I'm generally not going to get into, but hopefully you can put two and two together. I know a lot of us don't like them, but go to the authorities about it. Speak to a family member if you have that connection with a family member. Again, try seeking some form of help. If you and that person don't generally live together, try making some distance. Whether if it's, hey, this isn't working out, I wish you all the best, da da da. And granted, like I said, a lot of this advice that I'm giving, a lot of this that I'm stating and whatnot, is not going to hit everybody, and it's not going to reflect on everybody's case, because everybody lives a different life. But I would rather you find a motive or find a way to blossom as the flower you are, versus then staying in a situation to where the sun can't shine on you, right? Now that may sound lame within itself, but you don't always want to be in a dark place expecting to grow. And as you may view it, your growth is negative. You may react on certain people about certain things, or you may distance yourself, or a lot of times you may think of unaliving yourself. And I know some people try, and that's kind of the point break that they get to. But at the end of the day, you know, we have to have faith in ourselves that maybe it's just the way I'm handling it. I can't handle everything by myself. I'm one who is pretty hard on himself. In the fact, I've been in a lot of toxic situations. I've been in a lot of I guess negativity. Yo, what's good, Ren? Having a therapy session. Also, this is being recorded, so you know, shout out to you, Ren, for a special appearance. And how I usually got up out of it is, for the most part, like I said, removing myself from that person, or spacing myself out from the individual, stuff like that, to where I was able to breathe. Like I said, I'm still growing as a human. I'm not perfect. I've never stated to be perfect, and I'm still trying to kind of figure out life as time goes on. But for the most part, the advice that I can just state to others so that they're well aware of what's available to them is, again, if you are generally just in any form of a toxic situation, toxic environment, stuff like that, then please find some way that could best help you build a positive background. Whether if it's picking up a new hobby, finding a new job, leaving somebody, stop talking to somebody, spacing yourself out, putting a distance, whatever the case may be. Because like I said, a lot of negative situations, especially a lot of negative environments, those traits can carry over. And how much we may think that, oh, well, I'm not toxic, or I don't have really of a toxic trait, staying in that environment too long can bring about those toxic traits, right? So again, I hope someone who listens to this, someone who watches this, or someone who comes across this through the entirety kind of takes it with the best way that I was able to present it, and can expunge and grow on it. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they can't find options to get out of these situations. A lot of people aren't religious, so I'm not gonna say, oh, you know, go about it like that. But if you can speak to someone, if you are able to easily get out of a situation, or if you, even if it push comes to shove, you have to move to a whole completely different city, state, whatever the case may be, and that's when your life can really kick off. Please have a plan. Please have a backup plan in case that is the idea, right? So again, I really hope that this message comes across as well. I know it's not something that I could really, I generally didn't want to like deep dive about, because again, I don't know how everybody feels and how everybody's living and stuff like that. So I don't want to, again, cause any triggers and things, but I generally do hope that you, whoever you are, if you're a subscriber of mine, if you're not, if you're just someone who found this video on a random Wednesday afternoon, whatever the case may be, I hope that you have listened to this, maybe listened to this a few times, kind of got out the important parts, and are able to formulate a plan to where you can start living in a more positive light, a more positive atmosphere. Yeah, that's generally all I got. This is So Fresh Prince. This is a series brought about from the homie Caspa, so shout out to him. And again, the topic was from our very own Gotti, so shout out to her. I hope everybody has a wonderful night and day. Get sturdy, pussy.
Magic. I fell in love with a witch and it's true. She far from average. I don't want to be with nobody if it ain't you. This shit is madness. All of the sadness.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired.